Up next, we have Nathaniel Hunter. Nathaniel has held pivotal roles at the forefront of computer-generated imagery development for almost 3 decades. He has been on the bleeding edge of digital hardware and software, creating augmented and virtual content that blends years of visual and technical artistry into entertaining multinational brand experiences. With Ford, McDonald's, Comcast, Lululemon, Dippin' Dots, Clorox, Universal Studios, Fox, Lucasfilm, Disney, and many more. So thank you, Nathaniel, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Emily. So my name is Nathaniel Hunter. Just a quick background on me. Been about close to 30 years in the industry of media and entertainment, where it intersects with technology. I started back in the earliest days of CGI, working on product visualization and then content for commercials and then film back in the 91, 92. And then moved up through multiple different companies over the years, Disney, Lucasfilm, Tippett Studio, and then getting into a lot of small post houses and then working with very large brands over a number of years. For the last 10 years or so, I've been mainly focused on more the technology with internet-based technology and how that intersects more with the typical story-based production that I'd become accustomed to over the first 20 or so years of my career. And I'm going to share my screen here so everyone can see it. Give me 1 second. So about 3 years ago, I co-founded DreamView with my longtime business partner and friend, Ewan McDonald, who's our CEO. And we created DreamView around the premise. We've worked with multiple companies over the years and wanted to figure out how we could best take all of the technology that we've built up in the knowledge base and bring it to bear inside of the e-commerce market. So something a very pragmatic approach towards a very real business problem. Get it here. So what that problem was specifically, Ewan and myself, we were looking at multiple different productions that we had been working with separately at the time. Ewan from a VR company he was working with, and myself, I was working with big brands like Lululemon and Victoria's Secret and Apple, and looking at the physical production issues that they face on a pretty much consistent basis. So they have problems of logistics, when you're doing a photo shoot or a video shoot, the ability to get those products to a physical space, the cost of that, the amount of time it takes to produce that quality content. And if you're an Apple, it's not as big of a problem because, one of the richest companies on the planet. But if you're a smaller company, like how do you compete with the likes of Apple and others? And we started looking into the area of e-commerce as it's one of the most burgeoning areas of growth. And we wanted to figure out how we could take the technology that we've built over the last 30 years and put that into real effect. First thing we did is we looked at the marketplace that we were looking to get into and realized that 83% of consumers on e-commerce typically buy with their eyes. So more than ratings, more than comparison charts or video or even recommendations, it really got into product images, video, and augmented reality was the main reason that they actually buy individual products with their money. We had an issue with how current productions were being done though, because it was costly, time consuming, and really the quality just wasn't up to snuff for what we had been used to over the many years. So looking at what are those physical production issues specifically? Well, first one, quality, like the scale of the products that they need to have in terms of the amount of products that they need to get done in any given quarter or month or day. The consistency, so making sure that things are consistent and on brand, and then just quality problems all around in terms of image problems that might be shot in different countries around the world, or just different lighting scenarios where the brand image and the quality of everything that they're doing is not consistent. Second to that is obviously the cost, right? So traditional photography and video is very expensive to create, scale, and reshoot. It oftentimes requires dozens of different personnel on staff, whether it's photographer, art director, stylist, set designers, grips, lighters, and the list goes on, as well as all the physical product actually be shipped to a location, whether it's a photo studio or an on-premises location for, say, a home or outdoors somewhere in a business. And then the third was the time it took to create most of these products. And that's typically around 3 to 4 months on average, with incredible location and logistical challenges. So if you can think of a very large scale furniture manufacturer as an example, where they might want to be shooting 40 or 50 products, that would require 2 to 3 semi-trailers worth of product, multiple grips on site to build the product, to clean the product, to prepare the product, and then all of the different personnel. It takes a lot of production challenges to get something like that pulled together, and that requires a lot of time. So looking at how we go about this, we looked at our team and determined that, you know, over the last 30 years, we built a lot of different experiences at some of the biggest media companies on the planet. Working, this is a very small sub-selection. In the company right now, we have over 300 years worth of experience across the different leadership team inside of the company. And we looked at how can we bring all of that leadership to bear in the marketplace that we're looking to build. So this slide here is one example of what we're currently doing. So in these two images, one is a traditional photo shoot that was created from a client that took close to 3.5 months at a cost well over $25,000 to produce. The other one is something that took us about 3.5, almost 4 days for a fraction of that cost, less than, close to about 10% of that. So this is just a side-by-side of some of the content that our teams are producing. What we looked at was really like a snapshot of what are the problems that are facing. First was the scale. So we built a company that is 100% virtual. This is pre-COVID, mind you. So you know, as COVID hit, we were very lucky that we had already created an entirely global production solution that managed the design, development, creation, management, and distribution of all of these products for the brands that we work with. And our solution was to replace the traditional photography and video shoots with the digital representations of those same things that were nearly imperceptible from the real original ones, but at a fraction of the cost. To build and create all this stuff and distribute it globally, we had to create a platform, which also was part of our customer experience, where they could actually have a much easier and elevated experience using and being able to manage their products, which allows them to spend more time selling their product instead of actually dealing with creating it. So we created a platform, which we prototyped over the last few years, working with our clients, that helps to deliver all of these products, and as well as custom software and tools for developing this in standard software like 3D Studio Max, Maya, Blender, V-Ray, Unreal, etc. And wrapped all of that up into production tools that we can then use to facilitate our clients' requests in a very simple, easy-to-use platform on the web. The content that we generate for our clients is used in just about everywhere in their business. So whether it's in-store experiences, custom displays, first-to-market activities, AR experiences, 3D printing. There's quite a few here, and this is just, again, a small sub-selection. Oh, I'm hearing that no one's seeing the side-by-side. Sorry. Is that correct that you're not seeing it, Leonard, right now?
No, we are on slide number 7 right now.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, thank you. And now we are on 8, correct? Sorry, I just got a note saying that no one was seeing the side-by-side. So back to this. Our traction in the industry, we were working with dozens and dozens of very large brands and a lot of smaller manufacturers, suppliers, and retailers, both from the entertainment side as well as from furniture, lifestyle brands, clothing, etc., home and accessories. And some of the work, you know, to display kind of all of the stuff that I've been talking about here kind of speaks for itself. So many of these different pieces that I'm going to go through here. Hold on, I'm getting another note. So maybe this is the work that you see here is some of the stuff that the team generates on a daily basis for our clients. Many of this is used for marketing pieces as well as for e-commerce purchases and sales, all the way down to individual products. Right? So our team can build these worldwide at a scale that at the moment is in the thousands of products. So we're building this for multiple different clients around the planet in any type of scenario, again, at a fraction of the cost that traditional photography would allow them. This allows our clients to really kind of open up the ability to market in a way that larger companies would, but at a fraction of the cost that they normally wouldn't be able to reach. So traditionally, if a company like Spalding or Craftsman and Black & Decker wanted to do a shoot like one of these two here, this would cost them tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. But with the technology that we've created and the platform for being able to manage it and distribute it to the different retail sites that they work with, we can do it again at a fraction of the cost, which expands their ability to drive unique and interesting content to their end e-commerce customers. It also allows us, by doing it digitally, to reskin products so that we can take similar areas, such as these reconfigurable rooms that you can see on screen, and reconfigure them for a myriad of different uses by using a massive library that we've created internally of both props and assets that are from the companies that we work with. These are also a small selection of some of these products. Because we build the product from a what we call a mezzanine standard, we build the product at a very high resolution and then are able to move it through every software package with a customary format that allows us to deliver it to USD, GLTF, and multiple different software packages so that we can actually showcase those products for clients in multiple different use cases, this being an AR product. Likewise, not just small products, but using AR products, especially now that more and more people are shopping from home, to actually shop for larger items, such as like this basketball hoop. Using augmented reality really helps our clients to bring up their transactional conversion in terms of sales on their different retail sites. And again, one more piece of selection for the AR side. So some of the challenges as part of this is talking about startups. What are the challenges that we face and generally are faced in this kind of step-by-step is creating a well thought out business plan. So when we started this, we dove deep into some of the retail giants that were out there and embedded ourselves in them for well over a year, understanding all of the different pain points. And that's really something to focus on if you're thinking about, creating your own startup, is create a well thought out business plan. Don't leave any stone unturned. Research, know who the competitors are in the space and figure out what it is that you're going to bring to market that is actually going to make it a valuable proposition to your customer. Secure the proper funding. Now that can mean anything from bootstrapping your business, which is how we started it, and then moving that through angel investment, which is, again, we moved from a bootstrap to angel investment and getting prepared to go into Series A, which is the next step, which is getting into like venture capital funding or institutional funding via banks. Once you have that, and even sometimes prior to that, building the right team is critical. Timing is everything, but timing without the right team and the right approach is why most companies don't succeed. So building out that right team that not only has the right culture, but the right drive, and they believe in the product that you're actually building to bring it to market in the correct way and within the right time. Know your market. Knowing your market inside and out, be a subject matter expert on whatever it is that your startup is actually doing so that you can attack that market with the most confidence of any of the competitors that you potentially encounter during the process. And then build your customer base out. It's a very important, once you've thought out your business plan, you have the funding, you've got the team, and it could, again, be bootstrapped, and you know the market, start to build out the customer base, start to prove out the model, prototype what it is you're trying to do, and basically make a use case for it so that as you move on to the next step, which is preparing for the unexpected, you know how to pivot. So as being a serial entrepreneur over the past 25, 30 years, one thing is whatever you plan for, don't expect it to work out exactly as you planned. It's oftentimes rather going to change. There's going to be issues, and your ability to kind of stick and move, be able to adjust to those changes, pick yourself up if you fall down, and how you're going to react to that is going to be the best testament to your company or your startup actually making it through to being successful. And some contact information if anybody wants to get in touch with us. And that's it. Thank you.